I really didn't want to have to make this sort of video, but the stupidity of one of Mr. Killian's fanboys is really blowing my fucking mind today. So let's start by mentioning again a part of a comment I made to Mr. Killian on the subject of pit bulls and freedom of speech. I asked Mr. Killian somewhat facetiously if he thought that because people can't own Pit Bull Terriers under the Dangerous Dogs Act, did it mean that England was like North Korea? So then we get this guy stick his oar in. Pit bulls are dangerous. Capital D on dangerous for some reason. Really? Do you believe everything your government tells you? So now because I point out how dangerous Pit Bull Terriers have been known to be, apparently it means that I'm getting all of my information on them from government. What is this, the People's Republic of China? Most of my information comes from the press, from news stories, from videos of those dogs attacking other people, and from other people who I have met that have been attacked by dogs in the past. Now I told him I've seen what Pit Bull Terriers can do to people. His response? He posted a link to a news article on Discovery.com about similar legislation passed in a US state, as though that should be a refutation of my position that Pit Bull Terriers can be dangerous dogs. He then added, "For someone who claims to use science and reason, you sure seem to lack a lot of it. Is this supposed to impress me?" My response was as follows. For someone who decides to claim I lack science and reason, whatever the fuck you mean by that, you didn't actually bother to read the article, did you? In the UK, pit bulls have been bred for fighting purposes, with few of the people who choose to breed them doing so because they want a placid dog. No one is saying they're inherently dangerous any more than a German Shepherd would be, but when the country itself has a history of pit bulls being bred to be attack dogs, that is a clear indication that there is a problem. And the comment was continued in another comment that was not included in this response. By the way, this is how he chose to respond. So you're saying that anyone who gets a pit bull must be training an attack dog? Notice it was a statement and not a question. I didn't know you could read minds. Yeah, this guy should be a comedian. And if pit bulls were sentient, I would have to call you a racist. I mean, judging something based on its birth. Really? I thought statists were supposed to be open-minded. What a fucking asshole. So let's deal with the simplest thing first, shall we? Those of you who are paying attention would have seen this part of my reply to the commenter. In the UK, pit bulls have been bred for fighting purposes, with very few people who choose to breed them doing so because they want a placid dog. Now I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty sure no part of that statement was a categorical claim that every single person who gets a pit bull does so in order to have an attack dog. Which means either the commenter is either incapable of reading a statement properly, or is simply being dishonest. Now let's see this statement concerning racism. Really? This is just like the accusation of homophobia from Mr. Killian, in that it is just as frivolous and just as vapid. Racism for pointing out that pit bulls are a dangerous breed of dog. Really? Pit Bull Terriers are fairly large dogs compared to most breeds, large enough as adult dogs to cause serious harm to adults and kill children outright. They are bred with large and powerful jaw muscles that give them a devastatingly powerful bite. In the link bar there is a story with attached video where a Pit Bull Terrier attacks 5 police officers who went to a property to make an arrest. That's evidence alone that these dogs can be extremely aggressive, and that's why they're included as a banned dog in the UK. Are dogs inherently dangerous? Not necessarily. However, dogs are not sentient. They simply don't have the brain capacity to reason. As a consequence, their instincts are extremely powerful and override everything else. They are animals of instinct. As a consequence, if a given breed of dog is bred for aggression, guess what? They're going to be aggressive by nature. If they're supposedly trained to act upon that aggression by attacking people, animals and or objects, then that's what they'll tend to do. There's a balance between nature and nurture. With humans it's different. Humans have cranial capacity sufficient to allow reason to overcome instinct if they try hard enough. But this doesn't apply to dogs, so breeding in dogs can affect temperament and personality in a dog, whether you like this fact or not. It's not racism to point this out, which makes this accusation nothing more than a smokescreen. However, it gets better. Considering slave owners used to bred slaves in a way to make them more productive, if dogs were sentient, I would call you a racist. You're judging a form of life purely on its appearance, despite evidence proving otherwise. Yeah, except that this is not the case. However, in response to my comment here, unlike you, I don't work on extremes. I realise that a lot of these dogs are not bred to be aggressive, but that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them have been bred as attack dogs. He responded with, "So, because a minority of assholes do bad things with pit bulls, we should stop even good people from having them. I guess we should ban kitchen knives then." With the fucking slippery slope fallacy arguments, jeez, this is the sort of thing that creationists come up with, which makes him the biggest idiot this side of the galaxy. There have been more than 210,000 dog attacks in the UK thanks to the minority of assholes. It's the same as that bullshit "only 15% of people are uninsured in the USA" argument that I've seen, the one I addressed in my last frivolous series. The only thing more ridiculous is to claim that because Pit Bull Terriers are banned in the UK, the next thing that will happen is that human beings will lose their rights to free speech and will lose their ability to criticise government. Oh, wait, that accusation's already been made. Mr Killian is the one that insinuated it already. And in spite of my asking, this question was never answered. How does banning Pit Bull Terriers in the UK lead to the state of the country becoming like North Korea? To top it all off, he then made this comment. What? Remember this comment? This is the kind of crap that Mr Killian and his fanboys stoop to. It's a joke. The legislation on dog laws in the UK isn't perfect. There are discussions and petitions to change it. The Dangerous Dogs Act 1991 banned Pit Bull Terriers because the public demanded it. Asking me to back up my statement that Pit Bull Terriers have been bred to fight and be aggressive with numbers is ludicrous. It's not rocket science to realise that this is how they have been bred throughout history. Once again, dogs aren't by their nature necessarily dangerous. It's greatly down to their owners, but some dogs have been historically bred with specific traits, including aggression, and this must be recognised. Should dogs be banned because they are a certain breed? No. But careful control over what their owners are doing needs to be exercised. One of those things that anarcho-capitalists absolutely hate and revile. Thank you for listening.